The Billy Mays of YouTube. Guess what? All that. You ain't getting that shit from DS and Dan.
No.
Not gonna happen. Ever.
Pull the cord.
That's right.
Old school toilet bowl that shit.
No. But that's what I was thinking. That was a toilet thought. It wasn't a poop thought. It was a toilet
Poop thought.
Yeah, what's your
poop thought?
Poop thoughts.
So if you've been following us on Facebook, every once in a while, we were trying to do it daily, and then life got in the way. We've got this thing, poop thought. Everybody has them. Nobody's put a word, a label on it, but
people have called it poop thoughts before. People call it pajama thoughts. It's that long car ride to work where you're sitting there and you've heard the same song on the radio for the 47th time in 12 hours. You know, back in the day when you were reading the back of the can of the air freshener back in there, and you wanted to know what the hell chloroform or whatever was, and then that divulged into what is the ozone. That's a limited poop thought.
Yep.
So that's what we're talking about.
Yeah. Anything that you happen to think of when you're lost in the doings of your day, that qualifies as a poop thought. So here's a poop thought. Reply, comment, like, do whatever you want to do with this poop thought. And this is straight off the cuff because I have a million of them. I just don't voice them. You ever wonder what exactly it is that makes good stuff good and bad stuff bad? I have a specific thought in mind. Our job entails us walking through a lot of water. Over time, our footwear voices its opinion of the dislike of our wet foot and wet environment in the form of bad odor. Why is it that bad things smell bad? Why can't a bad thing smell like meatloaf if you like meatloaf, or cheeseburger mac, or roses, or whatever? Why is it that...
Man, I'm gonna straight up I gotta interrupt you.
What?
You were starting to talk about wet feet, and all I could think about in my head was Lieutenant Dan telling Bubba and Forrest, keep using some dry socks.
Yeah.
You get foot right, you get the jungle right, and die.
Yeah. Or you'll signal Charlie, smell the foot funk coming from off over there. And that's why do good things... I understand that good things are pleasing, you want them and all that stuff, but why in the world can't a bad thing over time? You don't want bad things, I get that.
I see what you're saying.
But why is a bad thing just into your arm, get it away, 10-foot pole? Why does it have to be so extreme? Here's another poop thought while my man's getting refreshing his beverage. And this one isn't mine, this was bequeathed unto me by a valuable opinion. You'll probably get a kick out of this too. Did you know? Did you ever put cognizant effort into the fact that every single odd number contains the letter E?
No.
blew your mind, didn't it?
Wait, you're telling me every odd number?
Every single one. I mean, it's as simple. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. And then after that, they all have E's.
15, 17, 19.
All of them. Every single one. You will not find an odd number that doesn't have the letter E in it. Blown. Happened to me. Happened.
I understand how it happens. I mean, words are words and they're made up of letters, but
how is that? Because, not every single even number has a consistent letter in it.
Yeah, but man, there's only 26 letters in the alphabet, so there's got to be some kind of repeatable pattern, I would have to imagine.
Well,
and somebody, hopefully one of these days, will have enough followers and some statistician will look through it and say, these are the odds of that happening because it's words.
Go simple, break it down. 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay?
Yeah, 8 has an E in it. Woo.
But
you're not talking about the E, they have no reoccurring pattern.
They all have E's.
Yep.
No, they don't all have E's.
Mm-hmm.
So 2, 4, those both have O's.
Yep.
6 is the one that blows.
Nope. None of them.
Alright. 8, 6, they both have I's. 4 doesn't.
Man, I hate math. I hate math, and this is just making it even worse.
Oh, here's another poop thought. You guys can comment on this one because we had this one a few months ago, and he can't stand it because I don't know. It's the engineering coming out. But check this out. I was watching this video a a few months back when I was deep diving into string theory, and this guy that's not a physicist, professes that he's not a physicist at the beginning of his videos, ascertains that when we all think of zero, the first thing that comes to mind is nothing, which numerically is right, because if you have zero to something, you've got zero. You've got nothing. This guy's thing was that zero, people think of zero as the smallest number, right? This guy said zero is not the smallest number. Zero is in fact the biggest number that you can come up with, because if you look on a number line, and there he goes, he's frying. The engineering it
ain't frying, man. I mean, I'm sorry, but
like human.
Go ahead.
Zero is the sum of both a positive and a negative integer. They cancel out. So the summation of the positive and the negative leads to zero. So however far you go on either side of the timeline, zero is in fact the sum of every single number that you can think of, and it's negative. I told this to my man, and my man flipped out. Smooth. If he was.
I just think it's. Look, a theory is a theory for whatever reason, and the guy. I mean, I don't. And then I guess I'm not smart enough to disprove or prove that he is correct or wrong. But I mean, just simple-mindedness says that if I got here, we'll just break it down. So if I got 4 apples, my man Diaz takes 4 apples. How many apples do I have? I have 0 apples. If I have negative apples, negative 4 apples, and Diaz takes negative 37 apples, guess how many apples I got? I got 0. 0 damn apples.
And that's
you can't take something that does not exist or therefore is not a thing. Now, what your man is talking about, it's theory. It's theoretical math, I guess, to a point. I mean, it's not real. It's not real. It's not tangible. I can't grasp it. I can't put my hands on it. You know, and my small, tiny brain just doesn't compute. And that's fine. I'm good enough to admit it. But I just think that 0 being the biggest number in the world or of all time, yes, it pains me.
I'm not saying it is a right or a true thing. I'm just saying it's
a poop thought.
It's a very interesting thought.
It is a very interesting thought,
because
I shouldn't discredit the man for having an original thought. Actually, I don't know if it's original. I haven't done the research on it.
He
could have ganked it from somebody else.
Here's a derivative poop thought of 0 being the biggest number. I mean, if you think about it, 0 hasn't always been a thing. I mean, the Aztecs I believe the Aztecs came up with the idea of 0.
Okay.
So, that being said, I mean, I realize numbers are what? Numbers are Arabic?
Man, I don't know. I can count. I can add a little bit.
So
I can do some math.
So if zero wasn't always a thing, how in the world did we come up with 10?
What?
10 contains a number 0.
Right.
So if 0 wasn't always a thing, how did we express 10 before that?
I mean, what Shakespeare say? A rose, is anything. If it wasn't called a rose, I'm not into my literature either.
Poop thought.
But have an idea.
As soon as you're done,
man, like you can lay out, man. Okay, so the Aztecs. I've got 10 Anglo-Saxon white men's heads in front of me for walking through my woods. There's 10. That's 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, granted, they didn't call it 10. The 0 is just a 0. I mean, it's how we monetized it.
Right, but how did you express that before 0 was the thing is what I'm asking.
It could have been a curly Q asterisk. It could have been Qbert. When Qbert talks in the video games, it could have been like a pound sign with an exclamation point.
So
I don't know what it was.
So a bunch of cats were walking around writing the number 10 as 9 plus 1.
Maybe. I don't know, but it was still 10. I mean, language is language.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody told me one time, like the Japanese, for love, there's 37 different words or something astronomical.
Crazy amount.
Yeah. I mean, it's language. I mean, it's written language. So, I mean, I can't go any further into it than that.
Got that.
Once again, I barely graduated high school.
All right, we're gonna migrate off of poop thoughts.
Man, you had all of them. I didn't get none of them.
My
poop thought. Okay. How do I know that the color red I'm seeing is the color red you're seeing. Now, yes, I know it's because we've been taught, or at least, you know, they hold a shiny color up in front of us and they tell us that it is red, but my red may be purple to you. It may be green. It may be something along those lines.
You know what's funny about that? There's two different things I have for that. The show on FX, Legion. Mm-hmm. Did you watch any of that?
I am behind.
Man,
I know.
There's
By the way, amazing show. If you haven't watched it,
show. Watch Legion.
pick it up.
It's awesome.
Now,
even if you're not a Marvel fan,
yeah,
it's a good show. It's a thinking show.
It is. It's twisted, so it may not be suitable for the kiddies or
not at all.
Not at all. But watch it. It's good. But anyways, continue.
So at the beginning of one of these, there's this narrator that's always going into like mental disorders and all this stuff. And crux of this one episode is there's this little kid at the beginning of it, and the guy is teaching this kid red, and instead of it being red, he was showing him the color green. And he was like, "Did you see that one?"
I saw that one.
And he was telling red equals go. No, red equals stop. He was teaching red equals stop, green equals go, which is what we all grew up with. But when he was saying red, he was showing him the color green.
Inverse color.
And then when he was showing him red, or green, he was showing him the color red. So they're walking down the street, and they get to a stop sign, one of the don't cross that's colorized, and the kid saw the green or the red color, which is don't walk. But he walked, and him got smashed. So the red that you're seeing and the green that I'm seeing, I mean, it's all interpretation. What did you get taught? I mean, this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
This is red, but I mean, now if you have some kind of physical defect of the eye, if you're colorblind.
But now, granted though, that's due to a genetic defect. That's something physically wrong with you, whatever. I'm just saying. I mean, I feel like I know what the color red is. I know what the color red is to me. But like I said, my red may look blue to you, but you call it red. That's what I'm getting at. Poop thought. You ever thought about that?
Yeah, but I could really blow your mind with some shit. This isn't actually red.
Okay.
It's whatever reflects red.
Oh yeah, that I did. Yeah.